Welcome to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast, your guide to future tech trends and innovation in a language you understand. Now, over to your host, Neil Hughes.
Welcome back to another episode of the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. You're going to be pleased to hear that using some of my old IT troubleshooting skills, my Blue Yeti microphone is working yet again. But I'm still going to buy a backup option just in case. So if there are any podcasters listening, I'd love to hear your microphone recommendations. My good friend David Ralphs over at Join Up Dots podcast, he recommends the ATR 2100 and also adding the Behringer 302 USB Xenix 5-input mixer into the mix. And he also says that the mixer is more important to the mic. But I always like to keep things simple. So as you guys and dolls listen to my voice every day on your travels, I'll throw this one over to you. So send me a tweet at Neil C. Hughes or email me at techblogwriter@outlook.com. But you didn't tune in to hear about my technical problems. So it's time I tell you about something I recently discovered, a startup called Uploadcare. And a story where they proudly declared that they've got the fastest image resize for modern x86 processors. Essentially they handle files so you don't have to, whether that be file uploads, processing, storage and delivery for web or mobile apps. But if you're not a developer or work in that area, you can be forgiven for not knowing just how big a pain point that Uploadcare is actually tackling here. Because file handling is a major source of frustration for developers since most of the tools available out there are dated and they constantly have to reinvent the way their file systems work. And also people are limited to few sources of files, so uploading takes a long time and is rather unstable to boot. So Uploadcare is attempting to seamlessly integrate to allow the uploading, editing and posting of images to a blog, website or app straight from a computer or mobile device, or even a popular cloud solution like Dropbox or Google Drive. But enough for me rambling on. You came here to hear about the tech and inspirational startup stories from around the world. So today I want to beam your ears all the way to St. Petersburg in Russia so we can speak with the guys at Uploadcare to find out more. So a massive warm welcome to the show. Can you tell the listeners a little about who you are and what you do?
Sure. I'm Igor Debutur. I'm CEO at Uploadcare.
Now, it's my understanding that Uploadcare is providing a complete file API in just a few lines of code at any scale, whether that be an individual startup or enterprise. But I'm equally aware that there'll be a few people listening that might be thinking, what does that mean? So can you tell the listeners a little more about Uploadcare, your mission, and what makes it unique from everything else out there?
Yeah, sure. Uploadcare is called File API because at the very beginning we were targeting for web developers and CTOs. And right now we are targeting for more broad audience, so now we know how to describe it more properly. Uploadcare is a file management platform that you can easily integrate to a mobile application or to a website, and it helps you to get user-generated content from your users or customers. It helps you to modify it in real time in case you want to transform images or transform videos, or to move or archive some files to a zip. It's easily done with Uploadcare. And also we provide a smart CDN. As you may know, CDN as a cloud is a content delivery network, and Smart CDN is a content delivery network that can modify files in real time.
Now, as this show has an international audience, I also think it's incredibly important to share tech stories outside of Silicon Valley. I recently spoke with Crystal from a fantastic Estonian startup called Teslio, and she was telling me about a vibrant tech startup scene over there. I mean, is that something you can testify? And does that also extend to St. Petersburg too?
Yeah, sure. And not only on St. Petersburg. We started to work on Uploadcare at St. Petersburg because we were living here and we had a web development agency here. But then we opened office in Rotterdam and we participated in Startup Accelerator, Startup Sauna in Helsinki. And I can tell you that in Europe, the startup scene growing very fast. And we really like it. In St. Petersburg, there are a lot of startup events and a lot of startups working from here and moving abroad and getting investments. And also in Helsinki and in Rotterdam, everything is now great.
Is there a real sense of opportunity at the moment and people realising that it's not a case of disrupting, it's actually improving and simplifying the old way of doing things, isn't it?
Basically, yeah, the thing we're competing with is an old way of building things. Uploadcare can really make the life of developers and website and startup owners really simpler, because before you needed to spend months and even years building something not relevant for your business, and with Uploadcare, it's you can have your focus back and build something that's really important, not working with files and file infrastructure.
Now, you mentioned there that Uploadcare has got a second office in Rotterdam, Netherlands. I think you've also got a headquarters in Miami. And also you've got some pretty big clients such as Mozilla, L'Oreal and Universal, to name just a few. Are there any cases that you can share with us today that will help listeners visualise how you're actually helping these international brands?
Yeah, sure. We have not only those, but many different companies and universities and even governments of some countries. For example, with Mozilla, they have a project called A-Frame. It's a platform for building virtual reality, and they work with files. When you want to build some VR project and you need to upload some assets to the internet, they use Uploadcare to gather files from their users. Because with Uploadcare widget, it's like files are uploading much faster, because we have geographically distributed network of uploading servers. So if you're located, for example, in Philippines and you need to upload really big file, it will be uploaded much faster to the nearest server, not to Europe or United States, for example. For L'Oreal, if I remember correctly, they are building a social network for cosmetics lovers, and they receive files such as images and photos, and they use Uploadcare widget to modify that photos in browser, crop them, resize them, enhance them, and then to upload to L'Oreal websites. Another good example is PandaDoc. PandaDoc is one of our beloved customers who with Uploadcare for, I think, 3 or maybe 4 years now. They are e-signing platform, a document management platform. And they use Uploadcare to get files from their customers from different social sources. For example, if you want to upload a document, an agreement, and it's stored on your Dropbox or Google Drive, you can pick it from Google Drive in your browser and then upload to PandaDoc, and then it will be signed. It is as easy as that.
Now, we've talked about Uploadcare and how it's an end-to-end solution, handling file processing and management for the modern web. But one of the questions I've got to ask, does it integrate with other systems too?
Yeah, sure. Our uploading widget is integrated by default with more than 20 social sources like Google Drive, Instagram, Dropbox, and many others. And you can choose files from there. And also it works on any mobile device, etc., all the marketing.
So if we have any developers, entrepreneurs, companies, or even people working in non-profit or education, what is the quickest way to get up and running? And essentially, how much is it going to cost as well?
The simplest way is to take the JavaScript snippet from uploadcare.com/quickstart and to copy-paste it to your website. And the Uploadcare will be up and running. We have pretty good free plan, and if you want to pay something, our paid plans start from $25 per month, and the amount of money you pay depending on how many uploads you have and how much storage you need per month.
So what is next for Uploadcare? Is there anything you can share about how the service is going to continuously evolve as well over the next 18 months?
Sure. We have a really big picture in our on the horizon. Yeah. And we are working to build an ecosystem which other developers can improve. And we also want to provide more features. Right now, we are working on providing video transformations. We provided GIF transformations, and we are working on more like technically interesting stuff like virus checking and object recognition, etc., etc.
So in your own startup journey, I mean, what's the biggest lesson that you've learned, and what advice can you pass on to anyone listening that's maybe at the earlier stages of a startup?
Yeah, it's a good one, good question. The main thing I learned is you need to concentrate, because when we started to build Uploadcare, we were a web development agency. And when we started to build Uploadcare, the web development agency was still there. And we proceeded to build to work on two projects. It was Uploadcare and Whitescape. And then we founded third startup. And it was really a failure, because I needed to manage 3 startups at that moment. But later we hired a CEO to manage Whitescape, our web development agency. And then I started to concentrate only on Uploadcare. And finally, it was a good way to do things. When you concentrate, you can do like not 3 times more, but 6, maybe 10 times more. And you feel really more happy about it.
So you're not going to contact me next year and say, Neil, I've got another startup running alongside Uploadcare. You're not going to do that again.
For sure. It's a piece of advice I share to everyone.
So before I let you go, can you remind the listeners of the website for Uploadcare, the URL obviously, and also any contact details where they can contact either yourselves or a member of your team if they just got a few enquiries or questions based on our conversation today?
Sure. Our website is uploadcare.com. You can sign up for a free account, or you can contact us in case you have any questions, and we will help you and assist you. Also, if you are non-profit or a university or a school student, you can ask us for a discount. We have a lot of that, folks, and we really like to help the community.
Well, a huge thank you for taking the time to come on the show today. I really enjoy hearing stories from outside Silicon Valley, so it's great to hear you guys doing so well in St. Petersburg, and also to hear about all the other startups that are coming through as well. So I really appreciate you taking the time to come on and share your story today, so thank you.
Thank you very much, Neil.
It's a great story there, and if anyone out there is interested in the more technical aspects of what Uploadcare can do, it really is worth dropping by their blog, which is blog.uploadcare.com. Essentially, my takeaway from today's episode is that Uploadcare seamlessly integrates to allow uploading, editing and posting images. But most importantly, these are standard functionalities required by almost all web startups. And I must admit, I do get a kick about hearing startup stories like this, where people from all over the world are creating opportunities of the big changes to how we do things now. So it was a real privilege for me to speak with the guys over there in St. Petersburg today, because these are the stories that need to be shared and I want to hear more of them. But that's it for today's episode, and I only have another 4 to record today, so I'm going to stop myself from burning out and say a big thank you for listening, and until next time, don't be a stranger.
Thanks for listening to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. Until next time, remember, technology is best when it brings people together.